Hi, my name is Patrick Bartmus, and this is a series on being a caregiver for a parent. I've been wanting to address issues around having a partner in the role of caregiver, but I feel any comments I have would lack credibility because I don't have a partner. However, there are other ways of looking at partnership, so I'd like to talk a little bit about that. Also, because I now live separately from my mother, I've recently been considering the possibility of having some company around. These thoughts have brought up feelings about what partnership means to me, considering that a major part of my life is still focused on being a caregiver. Obviously now that role doesn't dominate my life as much as it did before when I lived with my mom, so it makes me wonder what kind of agreements I would be making with a mate if we lived together with my mom, if that makes sense. The reason I hesitate to talk about this subject is because I know there are many couples who do live with their parents as caregivers, and I imagine there are as many living arrangements as there are relationships. This is a subject I have no personal knowledge of, so I can only speculate, and that's not very helpful to someone seeking advice. Maybe that's what you're doing here. However, I can talk about my own thoughts and feelings, and maybe that will open up possibilities in your own mind. That's what this video has to offer. Firstly, just because I don't live with someone who helps me take care of my mom, it doesn't mean I don't have partners. As soon as I meet a healthcare professional or a fellow caregiver, I assume that this person will be a member of my caregiving team in some capacity. I present myself as my mother's advocate, so it's very easy for me to establish that relationship early. Health professionals are easy. Their roles are defined by the service they are providing. And sometimes that's all I get, and that's fine. Sometimes, after I've established a personal relationship with them, I can see other possibilities, and I've just become accustomed to being assertive about my needs. If they can't meet them, no problem. Same goes for people I've met in the community. My one priority has been to provide the best care for my mother that I can find, so people don't meet me outside that role. If I make boundaries or requests, it all originates from my role as caregiver. So I feel comfortable asking certain people for things I think they can provide. This brings me to the more personal side of the question, accepting someone to be my partner. There are two things I think about. What if I had a partner who agreed to be a caregiver with me? And what would happen if I found someone and then 10 years down the line discovered that I myself needed her to take care of me? I wonder what would happen if I met a woman and the attraction between us was strong enough that I considered becoming more intimate. Would I be brave enough to say that my main concern in life is still my mother's care? Would that be a deal breaker? Would I be missing out on a chance at love just because I feel responsibility for my mother? Or would I be attracted to a woman who'd be looking for a care project and the fit would be perfect until my mother passed away? Without that mutual caregiving role, would we no longer have anything in common? The way I feel now, I'd be better off alone than to go through all the turmoil of relationship building only to drop it when my mom leaves us. Then I'd be doubly alone. That doesn't seem like a real problem, more conjecture than anything, but it's still something I think about. It's a block. The real problem is congenital Alzheimer's disease. My mother, her sister, and their mother all had dementia. And there is evidence to show that early onset Alzheimer's disease has a genetic component. Would it be fair to a potential mate for me to bring that piece of luggage into a relationship? Pleased to meet you. You might be taking care of me in 5 or 10 years. Would you like to go to dinner? I would not feel comfortable keeping that a secret, but how long would we be dating before I brought it up? Again, for some people, that would be a deal breaker. Some people might be looking for a care project. I can't deny that I've added caregiver to my little list of prerequisites for a date. I've joked in the past that I just need to join a dance club at a medical school and be entirely transparent about my need for a live-in nurse who would also be my wife. It's gallows humor, it's not very funny, but a kernel of truth lurks beneath it. These are the things I think about. I've met people who close themselves off from their parents when Alzheimer's was diagnosed. And I've met children who became their parents' biggest ally. I've met spouses who were destroyed by their loved one's diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease, and spouses who were galvanized into action, fighting for their loved one's right for comfort and respect. Every relationship is different. Some of us need a close partner to get through the trials of caregiving. Some of us need a community of allies. That fact that I'm thinking about getting a partner so much instead of just doing something about it probably shows which side I'm leaning to currently. The one thing I've learned as a bedrock caregiver skill is to move with the changes of my heart. Maybe in the future, everything will slip into place and I'll find a mate. Maybe not. I hope that by airing these thoughts on video for you, maybe some of these issues will become clearer for all of us. Thank you for watching.